Hi, in this video we'll be learning how to calculate currency exchange. So some people, when you see a currency exchange problem, just multiply or divide. I'd strongly recommend that instead of just multiplying or dividing, you set up a proportion to make sure that you're not making an error on these questions. So here we have that $1 is equal to 4.71 pesos. So let's write that down first. 1 US equals 4.71 pesos. And we want to know how much 400 US would be. So where am I going to write the 400 US? Well, I'd write the 400 US underneath the information for US dollars, because what we want to have happen is that we want to have US over US and pesos under pesos, or pesos over pesos. So what we have here is that 400 US is equal to some unknown number of pesos. So we can just write X pesos. Once we have that, then we can cross multiply. So we multiply that by that, and it's going to be equal to that by that. So we have here X times 1 is equal to 400 times 4.71. So now I left my units out. I did that on purpose because in this step right here, it tends to be a lot to look at if we have all the units in here. In this step, I do keep my units because I want to make sure that I'm lining up everything correctly. Pesos over pesos, US over US. All right, so now that we have that, we can go ahead and finish up the problem, and we get that X is equal to 400 times 4.71, which gives us 1,884 pesos. And that's our answer. So looking back at what the question was asking, with 400 US dollars, we'd get that many pesos. All right, let's try one more. Okay, so in this question, I flipped it a little bit. I actually gave you how much money you got in the exchange, and I'm asking you for the exchange rate. So you want to write down what you know in the problem. So we know that 908 Australian dollars gives us 1,000 US dollars. So we can go ahead and write that down. 908 AUD equals 1,000 USD. All right, so that's what we know for sure. We know both those things are equal to each other. And so now we're wondering, what is $1 US equal to? Now we have to remember to line up our currencies so that $1 US goes under the US dollar. And we don't know how many Australian dollars that gives us, so we can put X there for the Australian dollars. And again, what we're checking for is that when we line it up, Australian dollars is over Australian dollars, US dollars is over US dollars. Now we can go ahead and cross multiply. All right, so here we have that. And we get, when we multiply that by that, we get 908 times 1, that's an 8. And when we go ahead and multiply that by that, we get 1,000 times X. Now we want to isolate the X, so we can go ahead and divide by 1,000 on both sides. Okay, there we go. And we get that X is equal to 908 over 1,000. And so all in all, when we do 908 over 1,000, we get 0.908. So our exchange rate then becomes 1 US dollar is equal to 0.908 AUD. And that's our answer.